So before we start with this vlog, I want to give some context about what happened because a lot of stuff went down. So first of all, in the beginning / mid of February, we were told that we'd be having our mocks at the end of the month. And you know, I was stressed because I had barely studied. And then the Friday before we were supposed to have our mocks, we were told that IB exams and our mocks were cancelled. So you know, I was ecstatic, I hadn't studied, I wasn't prepared. But they told us that instead of mocks, we would be having IB style summatives, which basically meant that every single subject you had, you'd have at least 2 tests, you know, however many papers you have for that class. And that meant I had probably over 24 tests in a month. And this video kind of shows my journey of spiraling into despair and how I was consumed by stress. Thanks, IB. Hi, so I just finished my first test of this test season, whatever I'm gonna call it, and it was psychology paper 2, and I think it went pretty well. I put a lot of good ideas, and I'm aiming for 6 or 7. I don't know if I'm actually gonna end up getting my scores for these tests. I hope I do. Hi, so I completely forgot I was supposed to film this video. It's 5 p.m. Today I had my English paper 1. We analyzed the first test. The English one, it wasn't hard, but there wasn't that much to analyze because it was really a short text, and like I have this habit of like talking about things that are irrelevant, hoping everything I wrote was relevant. And then I also had psychology SAQ, which I think went well. The questions were about topics I was pretty confident about, so I'm happy with that. Right now I'm planning out my March. I haven't even fully filled in my February spread, so I have no idea what I want to do, but I literally just have the monthly spread and my weekly spread for this week done. I'm tired of school already, and it's literally only been the first day of this exam month, second day of this hell month, technically 3 weeks because we have a term break. Basically it's almost 8 and I haven't studied or done any work yet because, well, this day was very stressful. I need to force myself to do work this morning. I tried to wake up at 5:30 and then I snoozed my alarm and slept till 7. I had 2 tests today. I had my psych ERQ, which is like our long essay question, and then I had my economics paper 1. Both went pretty well. I feel pretty happy with them. I feel pretty okay about the tests I've been doing so far, so I hope that the rest of the month goes well. I haven't been vlogging for this week. I was taking a break because I'm the type of person that after like a huge block of tests, I can't do work for like at least a full day. In my case, it was 2 days. Right now, I'm looking over my IAs because our final submission is on Monday, so I'm just reading through all of them, making sure they're okay. Right now, I'm going through my econ IAs. I'm just going through them again, making sure there's no grammar mistakes. And then I want to read through my math IA. I'm planning to trade with my friend and check their IAs too, because I think that like having extra feedback is always helpful to make your IAs as best as you can. And I also need to check my bio IA, which I'm also gonna trade with some of my friends. It's 2 p.m. and I'm gonna resubmit all of my IAs. I fine-tuned all of them. I just have one question from my psychology teacher, but she hasn't been answering, so I hope everything's okay with that. So I need to submit all of my econ IAs, my bio IA, my math IA, and my psych IA. I just had a math test, which was a bit stressful because it's the first summative assessment, because my last math test was a formative assessment, so this should be worth more technically. I was like 30-40 minutes into the test and I had one question left and I had no idea how to do the question. I like did all these different types of things that I could think of, and then I finally figured it out, that whole question, and I rushed it. I was gonna work on my Spanish oral and like prepare for it, but there's a blackout. Mati lampu in Indonesia. I forgot the English word for it, but I can't obviously use the internet or my laptop, so I'm just gonna read a bit. I'm gonna read my Never Never Letting Go copy I got when I was like in 6th grade, so it's super gross, but the movie's out already, so I kind of want to reread it before I watch the movie. I'm such a bad vlogger because the last time I vlogged was March and I checked off my Notion since that last clip. It's a Friday, but we're on holiday. 10 days later, I'm gonna update y'all on what has happened since then. So I had my Spanish oral, and that that went well. I did make a couple mistakes because I forgot how to say some words. I had my paper 1 for bio, which was good. I think it wasn't super hard. I hope I do well on that one. I had my writing for Spanish, which was fun. It was pretty easy. I got it done in time, but also, you know, Monday was the Grammys. I was just really excited for Taylor. You know, I'm just like the biggest Swiftie, and the Grammys, it was an event for me. So then Tuesday I had a math test, which went pretty well, and then I had an econ test, which went so bad. It was like the hardest econ test I've ever had. So I'm just hoping that my other econ scores make up for that bad test. I feel like I could get like a 6 maximum on that test. It was so bad. And then on Wednesday I had Spanish reading, which was fine. It went okay. And then bio, I had a paper 2, which is like the short answer questions. And it wasn't bad. I think for the next one I need to study a lot though, because I did forget a lot of things. After the holiday, I have 3 tests, and then I'm basically done with this hell month, and technically done with DP because I don't really have any summatives after that. I just have to do my cast interview. I'm in my spring break. I just didn't film that much because literally nothing's happening. But I checked my managed back and I got my English score. And then I got a 5 for both papers. And so I was checking like, oh, how close am I to a 6? I was 1% away from a 6 for both texts. I got 65%. I need 66% to get a 6. So that's great. At least a high 5. Because if my oral and HLE are 6, which I really hope they are, because I put a lot of effort into my HLE and my oral, I hope they're both 6s. So that could hopefully get me a 6. I'm just pissed because this always happens in English. I always get 1% away from the target grade, so I like 1% on 1 point away. So, you know, that's kind of annoying. Hi, bad YouTuber here. So it's March 29th. It is the first day of my last term of high school. It's sad that I'm spending it at home, but you know, I think I've gotten over all of that. Like, I can't spend my last times of high school at school, so I just gotta get over that. Right now it's 4:40 p.m. and I'm setting up my April bullet journal spread while watching William Winnie, who's one of my favorite YouTubers, and then I think I'm also gonna watch Emma Chamberlain after this. So I'm just trying to make the spread a bit more functional for me. What I figured out ends up happening with me is if I have like a day with like 500 million tests, I'm not gonna work for the next 2 days because like my brain is so tired. I just can't work anymore. So the days of and like after the test, I just have nothing in my to-do list. So I'm trying to figure out a new system of how I want to make sure that there's no like blank space in my bullet journal. So I think I sort of figured it out, and I'm just gonna kind of do myself a little bit. I have class in like 8 minutes. Before I go on a rant, here's my breakfast. It is an oatmeal banana cup with some chocolate on top. I had a math test, right? I've been studying since the holiday. And the thing is, my teacher never gave us a separate revision sheet for the summative because we already had a revision sheet for the formative. And then so when we asked him, he's like, just do the one from the formative again. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So I decided to go through past paper questions, and then I asked, should I do studies or SL, because MAI SL is like in between of those two. So he said, your tests are more like studies. So I went through studies. I have 4 fucking pages of me doing past paper questions, and nothing I studied was on the test. And I remember in class yesterday, I'm like, Pa, is there gonna be a question about waves? I obviously didn't know that waves is just like cosine graphs, because we literally never ever did cosine graphs, and if we did, it was back in year 11. And he's like, I don't know, check the guide. And then I searched wave on the guide, and I didn't know what that meant. And then it said there was nothing there. So I was like, okay, there's no waves on the graph, which I don't know if that's just me being stupid, but I didn't realize that it's a cosine graph, right? So I was like, okay, well, it's wave is on the guide, so I don't have to study it. And the first question on the test is like, find something about cosine graph. And I'm like, what is this? I was freaking out, and and there's like no formula on the formula sheet, so I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then even the other questions were so hard. The easiest question was the last one, but that one was still confusing. And there was a question about like you had to find a coordinate from the Voronoi diagram, and I don't even know how to do that either. And I just like wanna cry. If I get a 5 for my final grade because of this test that I'm most likely failing, I'm going to hurt someone. So that's not a threat. By the way, if anyone from my school watches this, that's not a threat, I'm just angry. Okay. Hi, it's 12:23. I have a test in 37 minutes, and I look like a mess, but I have my econ test. Paper 3, and I'm hoping it's not bad, because our paper 2 was so bad. And yeah, I'm just gonna go through the guide and make some mind maps, which I find very helpful. So it is almost 5 p.m. I just woke up from a nap, and I'm gonna finally do some bullet journaling to write down what I want to do for today. Tomorrow is my last test of my whole IB career, which is so weird to me because I feel like it's so anticlimactic. I kind of forget that these are like the last tests we'll ever do in DP and not just like random summatives we have. Had my econ paper 3, went pretty well. It wasn't as hard as the paper 2, thankfully, so I get a good grade on that, so it makes up for whatever I did on the paper 2. I just finished biology, so that means I'm done with all of my tests for this month. I'm done with all the DP stuff besides CAS. I'm just happy. The only thing I really have to stress about is my CAS exit interview, which is next week. But yay, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I'm done with DP, but it just feels very anticlimactic. The bio test wasn't that hard. I was studying, I've been studying for like a week for this one, and almost all the things I've studied was on it, so that made me really happy. Due to all the stress I was facing, I never filmed an outro, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm happy to be going back into YouTube now that everything is over and I'm basically done with high school. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!